Okay, so hello y'all and welcome back to another episode. So today, um, let's get my voice recording together. My thing is I've been wanting to like record it a certain type of way, but I don't know, we're just gonna figure it out. We're just gonna figure it out. Let's see how this goes and we'll extract from there and go from there. Okay, so hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode with your girl Jazz, aka Shayla, aka Jasmine. And it's another beautiful, beautiful day here today on this podcast, Divine Chapter. Thank you guys once again for tuning in to your number one favorite podcast. So, today I would just like to talk on really what I've been receiving this past week. Um, yeah, like I feel like it's been a very fruitful week for me, and I feel like I've been receiving a lot of different things, and I really just wanted to get this right and make sure that I'm getting as much information as I possibly can to really execute what it is that I have been receiving. So yeah, so I got my handy dandy notebook here today, so we're gonna get right into it. And yeah, so last week I mainly really wanted to focus on fluidity and flow and what that really means to be like water and to really understand what that looks like to be in a constant flow. So when I had originally started thinking about this and stuff like that, I had asked myself a question. So for me personally, if y'all haven't realized, and I'm pretty sure I've mentioned this before, like I enjoy breaking things down and simplifying them. And this is something I had also seen in a video as well, was just being able to take stuff and simplify it so it can make sense to you. But also for me personally, I just feel like it also gives stuff a deeper meaning. It gives what I'm looking for, what I'm trying to get done, what my purpose is, what my intention is. I feel like it really helps me personally to execute my intention. So I definitely encourage you all to continue to break stuff down and simplify it for yourself so you can have a better understanding at the end of the day. So as I was thinking about how I can utilize it for this week, some words that had stood out to me were elegance and grace and how it's so effortless and it's an easy flow. So here's what I wrote as to what fluid means to me. So fluid means to me an effortless state of flow, creatively being and producing. This week, I would like to utilize water and fluidity to remain at a constant state of flow. A week of jazz. The goal is to share with the collective what I received um, that week, my thoughts, my questions, vlogs, encouragement. I believe fluid may also mean balance. How to effectively how to effectively and consistently in all areas. I am on the right path to do I'm on the right path. Do not get distracted. Lock in before I tweak out. Literally had to tell myself to lock in. And the way I locked in was exactly how I needed to freaking lock in, right? So then I started taking more notes about remaining fluid and practicing balance. At first, I'm kind of just walking through what it is how my week kind of went and what I received. And this is the message that I feel like I would like to share that I'm supposed to be sharing. Just kind of giving you a synopsis on really kind of what the flow of the conversation is as of right now that me and you are having. So yeah, so then I started to think about practicing balance and what balance has to do with being fluid. So then I started to think about how or in what ways will these come naturally, as in how will these certain things flow, how will I flow naturally? So I pointed out consistency and the different things that I will be doing consistently on a daily basis to remain in that constant flow. Um, be more productive during the day and be outside. Make sure you're moving. Make sure that you are actively putting in the effort to to create that space of consistency. I also was telling myself a lot as well last week, just push yourself, express yourself, take that healthy decision to effectively heal, understand, and grow. So I wrote some other things to be mindful of this week, some affirmations. I am defined by the narrative I choose to write. I am doing exactly what I should be. It's okay to start over. It's okay to keep reinventing self. You are made for more. I'm ready to step into more. I am prepared to step into more. And I'm just so proud of myself. So, coming the next day or a couple days after this, I had realized, well, I had did a reading, correct? Did a reading for myself, and I had received a card which was it was either 7 or 8 of pentacles, and it was a spider. And later on that week, I had taken note of this, and I was like, okay, what do spiders mean? What is their purpose? What is their meaning? What does that symbolize? And why am I seeing spiders? I was outside at the library and I was journaling, and yeah, I was journaling and a spider had fell on my freaking leg. And I was like, oh my gosh, promise I didn't kill it. But I just was like, okay, I seen a spider in my cards. And now I'm seeing a spider on me. And this is another thing that I've just been realizing and also just making sure to implement in my life is genuinely actually like thinking about stuff, like actively paying attention. I don't think I, it's frustrating to me now that like for so long I was like, oh, I'm an overthinker, and like overthinking has always been sought as a bad thing, but it's just like the times that you see that you're in the most chaos are the times that you have not put any thought into that situation. Like you're just willy-nilly doing stuff, and it's just like you cannot effectively execute, you cannot effectively be going about something, and it's just, you know what I mean. And then once again, that goes into intention, and it goes into what are you doing this for, what are you gaining from this action. And if that is not aligned with a specific purpose or a specific intention, like a reason, that situation can leave you anywhere. Like that can leave you high and dry, that can leave you at your best, that can leave you at your lowest. So it really is important to have intention and to really think about the things that you are deciding to involve yourself in. How can you really, like, I just don't understand. Like, I remember living a life where I was not thinking about the decisions that I was making, and in that area of my life, it was causing chaos. So I really just want to encourage everyone to really think and to really take that time to build some intention. Like, this also goes into balance. Like, how can you have a balanced lifestyle if you're not even thinking about the things that you're doing, the things that you're putting in your body, the things that you're saying, the things that you're seeing, the things that you're intaking, the things that you are feeding your soul? Like at the end of the day, the vessel is here. But what are we doing to really feed our spirit at the end of the day? What is it that is keeping our spirit alive? What is it that is genuinely growing us and nurturing us? Like, guys, like our vessel changes from year to year. What are you inputting into your body to grow your vessel? It should be the same, not the same exact things obviously, but you should be doing that same type of growing process with your spirit, feeding your spirit and gaining that extra mile of depth of self, of understanding, healing, all of that. That is how you feed your spirit, through healing. You feed your spirit through growth, through learning, through all the stuff that really fills you up, that is not necessarily materialistic or is not necessarily something that everyone else is doing. Like, this is something that is specific to you. This is something that it only helps you, basically. Like, it's really important to make a lot of the stuff that we go through in this lifetime our own, and making sure that, yeah, we're listening to other people's opinions, yeah, we're gaining all this knowledge, but to also continue to formulate our own opinions, our own expression, because it doesn't benefit us at all to keep copying everybody. Like, I can't sit here and watch someone else's. Like, yeah, I could sit here and watch, for example, my favorite YouTuber, Michaela. I could sit here and watch her videos and intake what she's saying and listen to her thoughts and her expressions, and I could make that my own, or I could take what she's saying and make it my own, but like make it my own in a way where I'm still like, her beliefs are my beliefs, and I haven't thought for myself a part of what I think on top of what she thinks, if that makes sense. So it's just really important to make this experience, excuse me, our own, because at the end of the day, I I am a vessel. I am a pawn in a way. I am, yeah. I'm God's pawn, and I also feel like I'm my own pawn. So, I utilize my strengths, and something that my sister says a lot to me, and also just reminds me as well, is like, really, you gotta play to your strengths. Like, if you know you're good at something, do that. Why do y'all keep trying to do stuff that y'all not good at? That doesn't make any sense to me. Okay. So anyway, so the spider, some significant things that pointed out, that stood out to me, about the spider, was just the web of connection and artistry, manifestation, patience, feminine power, balance, and wisdom. And so I then asked myself, how can I utilize the spider this week? And it is a reminder to be connected to people, connected to myself, creating that balance for myself to be in that constant flow. I had thought of a water spider and to be diligent in creating spaces, as many as necessary. Creating space for myself, I feel like, is important. I've been doing a lot of things to really heal my inner child, my inner teen, and really nurturing her and nurturing what she never really received growing up. And that's important, and it's important to continue to create those spaces for yourself. Yeah, so I'm just grateful to the universe. I'm grateful to God. I'm grateful to my ancestors for just coming together to do this for me, to create this life for me, like moving mountains, really, so I can do what I need to do, because all my desires are in my heart for a reason. All of it is here for me, and I'm meant to use these things and execute them. So there were some prompts as well that I had looked at this week that I liked, as well. And one thing that I realized about myself that really helps me personally to really continue to vibrate higher is constantly questioning myself, but not questioning myself in a way like, why are you really doing YouTube? Why are you really doing the podcast? I'm not questioning myself in a way that it creates that space for doubt, but questioning myself in a way that I am actively healing, I'm actively growing, I'm actively aware of who I am and what my purpose is and what my intention is today, what my intention is this week, what my intention is this month. And it does sometimes sound like a lot, but it's just like so thrilling, and it's so exciting to just sit and think about you and like really, learn more about yourself. Like, it's just like getting excited about a new relationship. You meet a guy, you meet a girl, and it's exciting, it's thrilling. Like, oh my gosh, like, I mean, this new beautiful person, and like, I can't wait to get to know them. Like, I just feel so excited about getting to know who they are, and getting excited to really just be there for them and please them, and make them feel good about themselves. That's kind of how I feel, a lot of the times when it comes to me being romantic, and even with myself, which I'm realizing is like, I really enjoy learning about other people and listening and making people feel seen and making people feel special, because that's something that I personally want to feel as well. I want to feel valued, I want to feel loved, I want to feel compassion. Like, I want to feel like, I'm the best thing you ever had. Like, I want you to feel like this is a relationship that you would never want to alter. This is a relationship that you never would want to lose, because I just feel like I hold that much value. So, yeah, don't remember where I was going with that, but yes. Um, where am I standing in my own way of making progress? So I started to think about in what ways and could I be in the way of what I got going on. So what really has sparked this whole understanding of fluidity and this whole understanding for balance, which it's really crazy because it became a discussion, it became a main viewpoint that it switched. Like the conversation for me shifted from fluidity to balance. But which I'm about to cover is just how that all plays a part together, like balance and fluidity and all that stuff after it's broken down. And that's another thing that I just really admire about breaking stuff down is how it just comes together. Like it just makes everything just like so much, I don't know, I like it. I really like to do that. I enjoy definitely breaking stuff down and seeing how that comes together, and once again applying that to my life and making it my own. I enjoy making stuff my own. It becomes more personal, it becomes more real, and it doesn't feel like I'm faking it, you know? Like I don't feel like I'm out here asking myself questions every day just because my sister does that or just because my other people I know do that. I'm doing this because, you know, it makes me feel good about myself. It makes me feel like, you know, I'm actively taking that initiative over my life. This just feels like I have more control over the things that I'm doing. And like, for example, like I had hung out with somebody the other day and it just felt so natural. And like when it comes to me and something that I'm still navigating through spaces with is how I am when it comes to being around people that want to be more intimate with me after I've spent the past 5-6 months just really dedicating time to myself and not allowing other people to receive that energy from me. And now I feel like, you know, it's time for me to kind of cut that a little short because I don't want to get stagnant or get to a place where I am unable to make certain connections because I'm so, I want to say full of myself, but I'm so comfortable. I'm in a comfortable state of mind, or I'm in a comfortable space where being with people who are intimate makes me nervous, or you know, makes me feel uncomfortable. And so therefore it comes to a point where I'm not trying to be in that space with that person, you know, because of my fear. So that is something I'm also working on. And yeah, and I just really felt more in control, and I felt really happy and I felt really proud of myself because for so long I felt like I didn't have control over how I felt or what my body was feeling at times that I was with someone that made me get butterflies or made me a little bit more nervous than other people would. And just understanding what that comfortability means for me, but also having that firm that foundation in my choice and what it is that I want to execute through this interaction that we are having, me and you. I feel like for me personally, and some advice that I feel like I could give um, is that for me, I'm not much of a TV person to begin with. So my TV is already in our living room. So something that I feel like that has been beneficial for me is really separating when like people come through and you know we're laying in the bed. Like I'm tired. I'm not gonna say I'm tired. Well, I am tired. Like I'm not trying to lay up in the bed with you. Like I feel like why can't we sit and have a conversation? Like why can't it just be something cool? And like this is what I mean when I'm talking about like I just felt like there was so much control over the situation where I didn't feel nervous or I didn't feel super pressed to do anything. Like, you know, I felt like everything was really on my time and it was I had control over the situation. Like y'all, we have more control over the situations we put ourselves into than we think we do. And this also goes into the fact of placing us in that constant state of fear because you're constantly in that state of fear. So now I feel like I can't speak up for myself. Now I feel like I can't speak up for myself. That's where I lose the control because I feel like if I were in danger, if I felt uncomfortable, I don't feel comfortable enough to say something about it. So anyway, like yeah, like we literally sat here and we talked for like 3 hours. Like I didn't even turn the TV on. Like we just sat here and we just was chilling and we just talked for like 2 or 3 hours, and like everything after that kind of just naturally progressed. And I just felt like, I could sit here and I could do this with you because I am growing that level of comfortability and I'm growing that level of trust. And I feel like I was able to do that because I had a firm foundation in as to what my intention was when he was coming over here, what my thought process, and really standing firm behind myself. Like stop allowing these people to treat you some type of way just because you feel like you can't, speak up for yourself. And also, once again, like I feel like, how do I word this, collective? Because I feel like someone needs to hear this, where it needs to just be put out there. Like, I feel like there's nothing wrong with using people as practice. Excuse me. Before y'all get on me, like, I feel like okay. My sister's been saying this, and I feel like this is like a perfect like title to what I'm about to begin to say. My sister says this a lot. No box intended. And for me, I just feel like I'm really stepping into a season where I'm being way more open when it comes to relationships and when it comes to being intimate with people and all that stuff. Because I feel like for me, I'm limiting, or I'm taking away those limiting factors for me. So I feel like in order for me to do this, in order for me to go about my dating life, my friendships, this way, I have to have a firm foundation as to what I'm trying to accomplish by my actions, what my intention is behind how I'm treating people. You know what I mean? So for me, I feel like I'm at a stage where I'm not going to say I'm using people for practice, but at the same time, like I'm going to fully express myself. I'm going to fully communicate with you. I'm not going to be in situations where you made me upset and now I'm not talking to you because I feel as though you made me upset and you don't understand where I'm coming from, or whatever the case might be. And I'm just going to let you know, you said something that hurt my feelings. I wasn't really messing with that. I told you, or for example, I told you I don't feel comfortable doing this with you, but you keep trying to push me to do this, and I don't like that. And now then it comes to a point where I would have to separate myself from you because I've already expressed to you certain things. And it's just like, if you're not listening, if you're not paying attention, if you're not picking up on those type of things, it's time for me to go. So I feel like it's good practice to quote unquote practice. It's good practice to really I feel like it doesn't hurt to really sit here and try with people. Because I just feel like over the past month when I decided to really sit here and make a real effort, because at the same time, like the only reason why people don't make a real effort is because they feel as though if I'm putting an effort, I deserve to be in a different position by the end of this. Just because I'm doing what normal people should do as a human being, which is communicate, which is express how I feel, which is correct you when you're wrong, like be real. Like if I don't do those things, then next thing you know, it's like a quote unquote, it creates that friction. I was gonna say a problem, but it does create that friction because how can I expect you to cuff me if I'm not doing nothing to get cuffed? You know what I'm saying? Like, how can I really expect to be in a relationship? How can I expect to be your friend and I'm not doing anything to be your friend? You know what I mean? So for me, I just feel like that just makes more sense for me in this season to operate in that type of way. And of course, you're going to have people that are going to try to take advantage of you. Of course, you're going to have people that are going to try to use you. But it's your job to stand behind what you're saying, stand behind what you're doing, stand behind your intention. And at the end of the day, everything else will play out. Like all the people that are trying to use you will be weeded out. And all the people that are meant to stay will still be there. Because at the end of the day, if I'm okay, because it doesn't make any sense for me to switch my mindset and start treating people certain different type of ways, but my actions aren't really aligning with my, you know what I mean? Because once again, people allow what you allow them to do. So if I'm sitting here saying, okay, well, I'm going to openly communicate with these guys, I'm going to openly communicate with women, and see where that goes for me in that intimate setting, I have to be open to the fact that just because I'm being open doesn't mean that other person is going to reciprocate my energy. And that's when it also comes down to when people are on social media, like, I'm going to treat you how you treat me. And I remember getting in that loop and losing myself in that and just feeling like I can't keep treating you how you treating me, because that doesn't make any sense. Especially because it's not going to get us anywhere. Like, and it's crazy as crap now that I'm thinking about it, because it's just like, I just remember in high school, and even to this day, like, I'm meeting people where they start treating me some type of way because of how I'm treating them. But it's just like, I'm treating you, I'm not going to say normally. No, I am going to say normally. Like, for me, this is a normal thing. I'm treating you the same way I treat everybody else. So now it comes to a point where if you have an issue with how I'm treating you, that needs to be said. Instead of you sitting here trying to treat me some type of way because you don't like how I treated you. That doesn't make any sense, because now, once again, now we're arguing. Now it's causing chaos in the relationship because you didn't speak up on how I made you feel. And instead of you speaking up, you decided it would be easier for me to just treat you the same way. And for me, the reason why this is an issue and why I know that it causes friction is because I've had too many friends treat me some type of way because of how I'm treating them. But once again, I'm unaware of how I'm treating you. So how can I fix something that is not brought to my knowledge? And once again, like, I feel like I am pretty aggressive when it comes off, and sometimes I might say something that's hurting your feelings. But as my friend, as my partner, as a human being, for you as a human being, you have every single right to tell me that I hurt your feelings. That's valid. And I cannot sit here and tell you that it is invalid for you to feel those things, because those are your emotions. I cannot tell you, because I don't know, because at the end of the day, and this is something else that is just really hindering me, is just stop trying to tell people how to feel. Like, I just literally never understood that. Maybe because I've always been the person that people try to tell how to feel. But let's really dead that. Let's really cut that loose, because it just doesn't make any sense for you to try to tell me how I feel, because I'm the one feeling it. Obviously, it's not going to make any sense to you because you're not the one going through the emotions. I am. And it just doesn't make any sense for you to tell someone, oh, it doesn't make sense for you to feel that way, or I don't understand why you feel that way. It doesn't fucking matter. Sorry, excuse my language, but it does not matter. Like, your opinion when it comes to someone else's feelings does not matter. It doesn't matter. It literally does not matter. And I don't know how many times I have to say this. I don't know how many times I have to stress this. And I'm super passionate about it because I am so tired of people treating me some type of way because of how I'm treating them. But, like, you're not even speaking up for yourself. And, like, that's sad. I feel like that's sad. And it's also, I'm sorry, but sometimes I feel like it's kind of embarrassing because, just like, once again, like, I'm the type of person where you can speak to me about stuff. You can tell me, you can openly express to me what it is that is making you feel some type of way as my friend, as somebody that I'm intimate with. So when you break that level of understanding that I have anyway, because once again, and this is where it causes that chaos and it causes that friction, because I'm the person where you start treating me some type of way, I'm going to let you know I don't like this. I don't like what you're doing to me. But then if you come to me and say, well, Jasmine, well, you've been treating me this way, it's just like, what? How can I take responsibility for your emotions and you didn't say anything? It would have been different if you said something to me and then I didn't bother to, like, fix myself. But once again, y'all don't even be trying. Like, everybody want to talk about, oh, I can't talk to such and such, I can't do this, I can't do that, but you haven't even tried. You haven't even put forth the effort to even see the outcome. So many people make conclusions before they even started. Like, and once again, this goes into fully communicating, fully being a human being, fully making connections, fully embracing that. Like, it's gonna be hard, and I feel like it's way easier said than done, and I've had to do a lot of work to get me to this point. But I do feel like I have a strong foundation in what I'm tolerating, what I'm not tolerating, and what levels of tolerance do I have for people. You know what I mean? Because at the same time, like, I still have to give you a chance. I can't just say, okay, I'm going to communicate with everybody, on that same level of respect and that same level of communication. But when it comes down to it, I'm being picky and choosy. Like, it has to be the same every single time. Even if this is a guy that I really like and been talking for 3 weeks, and now he's starting to move a little weird. Now he's not really listening to what I'm saying. Now it's just like everything that I said before has been kind of out the window. Like, once again, we need to go back, we need to reevaluate, and we need to redraft. Because once again, if I'm openly communicating with you, I do expect the energy to be reciprocated. Like, if we're friends and I'm actively letting you know, I don't like when you treat me like this. I don't like that you didn't show up and we made plans and you didn't say anything. If we're friends and I'm actively doing that, I do expect I expect there to be an exchange here. Because at the end of the day, if you say you want to be my friend, you say you're trying to be my partner, my intimate partner, then you should be open to receiving the communication, like getting us to that point. You know what I mean? And once again, it's not about the end result. And this is what I mean when I say use people as practice. Because, for example, like, I was hanging out with this guy, and he had came over and stuff, and like, we had linked and stuff, but I was feeling uneasy about the situation after the fact. And honestly, I wasn't going to say anything, and I was going to keep it just whatever and kind of just cut him off and slowly just die down. But I had to think, and it's just like, no, like, you can't do that. You need to let him know, like, I'm not really feeling this, da-da-da-da-da. And then on top of that, what y'all be forgetting is, like, these people know you better than you may think they do, especially if they're paying attention, especially if there's somebody that cares about you. Because they can notice when the energy switches. Like, I be noticing when the energy switches. Like, you could be 1,000 miles away and I still know, like, something isn't right here. So it's just like, you can't even really lie to people at the end of the day, because sometimes people can genuinely feel the energy. Like, I'm someone who can genuinely feel the energy. So it's just like, don't try to lie. Don't try to have false intentions, because I can tell. So with that being said, like, he just kind of already had a feeling, but he was waiting for me to say something. And so when I had said something to him, it was just like, damn, like, I'm glad you at least told me, because, now I'm aware of it and I can fix it. We can move forward. Like, if I had sat here and I said anything to him, I probably would have talked to him now. He probably would never know, But also, it's not even about him, because I just learned so much about myself as to, like, why I was really feeling that type of way. And then it's just like, why did I feel like I didn't have control in that situation? And then it's just like, why do you feel like you can't speak to him? Like, all these different things that play into it. And once again, that's when you would go back and, like, if I feel like I can't talk to you about how I feel, or say I did bring my emotions to him and communicated with him, and say he rejected me and was more so just like, you don't need to feel that way. Like, I bang with you. You don't have no reason to distrust me. And, like, really just, saying stuff that's not really helpful in a way, then that would be a point where it's like, okay, now either I have to move differently with you and try to give you another chance to understand that my feelings are important, or it's an automatic cut off. Because at the end of the day, for me, if you're dismissing how I feel, it's just a hard pass. It's a hard pass for me. So that would be an automatic cutoff. But do y'all see what I'm saying when it comes to openly communicating and standing behind what you're saying? Like, if he had rejected me, it would have had to be, okay, either I'm about to cut you off, or maybe, maybe right now, maybe there's hope. You know what I mean? You have to really gauge, and you have to really think about the situation at hand. Like, is this really worth your time? Is this really going to be benefiting you? Is it really going to be depleting you? But then when I talk about it being practice, quote unquote practice, like, that's practice right there. Just communicating just, that was the practice of you taking that time to tell that person, oh, I'm feeling some type of way. Boom, that was practice right there. You just practice communicating with someone. And if it ends badly, it ends badly. It benefited you because you took the time to try to communicate with this person. You've never done that before. It doesn't matter if this person is about to be your husband in a year or 3. It does not matter. Like, you did something that you've never done before. You tried it. And it was just like, dang, I feel good because I was able to communicate with myself. And that's another thing that I've learned along the years that has really helped me be comfortable in a lot of situations is being myself and staying true to myself. Like, at the end of the day, I'm gonna try. At the end of the day, I'm gonna say what needs to be said. But when this is all said and done, you could never say I didn't do something. You know what I mean? It could never be that I didn't do my part because I did everything that I was supposed to do. I can only take accountability for myself and the actions that I'm doing. So, just think about that. Ponder. Because I feel like that's really important in all of it. And that goes into balance. Like, I just feel like, as a collective, we should be more kind. We should be more naturally flowing. But if this is something that interests you, if what I've been saying so far is just like, wow, like that sounds like something I want to try or something I want to experience, I definitely encourage you to take that initiative and take that first step to that healing and creating that foundation, that firm foundation with yourself. Like, you have to be secure in your emotions. You need to be secure in your intention. Like, always have intention, always have your thought. And once again, pay attention. It's all about paying attention because people will show you who they really are every single time without even noticing it. And then it's just like, it's up to you to decide how the relationship goes after that. So, child, that was pretty good though. Okay. So then, so what was I? Yeah, the shift between the fluidity became balance. Because then I also just realized, like, I have to like try here. I'm sorry, y'all. Like, low key, my train of thought was just like, damn, like, where did we start? Like, how did we get there? And now we're here. Okay, so the question I had asked myself this day was, where am I standing in my own way of making progress? And how do I plan on moving? And so I felt as though that my, how do I say this? I felt that my lack of fluidity, my lack of flow came from my lack of discipline and my lack of balance. And I don't think balance is unattainable. It's what works best for you. I say discipline as well because that creates space for balance. When you're disciplined is when you can create that space to have that level of fluidity and have that level of understanding and getting things done. Because when I think of balance, well, I don't say when I think of balance, but when I had this conversation with someone else, they were telling me like, balance is hard especially when it comes to relationships. And I'm just like, it's not hard because at the end of the day, like, if you're in a relationship and you have friends, like, if those are your real friends, they're not going to dip on you just because you got in a relationship. And then once again, like, it don't even be your friends not in a relationship is the reason why the balance is hard. The balance is hard because of you. You are the person that makes the balance hard. Like, the only reason why the relationship, balancing being in a relationship and having friends is hard is because you don't know how to balance that. It's really not hard though. Like, if those are your friends, they're there. If that's your partner, they're there. Like, if that's your partner, they have a problem with your friends. But I don't want to get too much into that. Yes. So to create that discipline, I plan to push myself to do things when I may not feel like it, and disciplining and holding myself accountable, consistency and flow. And I put productivity. I have self-control. Like, and that's one thing that I realized is that a lot of people be trying to project their lack of self-control onto you. And it's just like, baby, I have more self-control than you think I do. Like, once again, like, it's just the decision to not. It's just making the decision to not do something, like, and that's like a simple power. Think for yourself, don't allow others to cloud your judgments, and stop projecting. I am capable of so many things. Flow creates consistency, creating discipline, which creates the balance. Discipline yourself to consistently flow and have a balanced lifestyle. Balance is the end. No one talks about what goes into creating that balance. That flow creates that balance. That consistency creates that balance. That discipline is what really creates, that's what really ties it all together. Like, first you start with the consistency, then that's when you start to flow through the consistency. And as you flow, you're creating that discipline, because in order for you to be consistent, you have to be disciplined, and you have to be telling yourself, you got to get this done. We got to get this done. We got to get this done. And that is what results in the balance. So fluidity goes into balance because of that consistency, which is discipline, which is balance. So yes, I am determined once again to be disciplined this week. So I had looked up what discipline really means and some things that had stuck out to me, and then also I created my own definition for myself, because I want to say I didn't like the definition. I just didn't like how it was worded. So to be disciplined is to train oneself to do something in a controlled and habitual way. So I said being consistent with self to flow, or to be fluid, a code of behavior. So what is your personal consistency code, and how do you keep yourself in line? I put persistent, frequent, and ceaseless. Those are some of the words that had came up. Discipline is about making choice after choice that's aligned with our intentions. In any moment, we can make a choice that supports an intention, or we can make a choice that supports an old habit, a lack of intention, or a fear. You have the power to change your reality. Make the decision to try. At least you tried. And that also, once again, goes into that whole communication thing. Like, it genuinely doesn't hurt you to try to be a human to another human. Like, it helps you more than it tears you down. Just like situations in our life that occur, those are things that happen to us so they can build us up and not tear us down. So the same thing comes when it comes to making decisions or making that effort. Like, it doesn't kill you to make an effort, because at least at the end of the day, you did what you were supposed to do. Who cares about the other people? Like, that is the problem. Y'all be so worried about what everybody else is doing, and so worried about what other people got going on. Like, if you would just stick to yourself and do what you need to do, all that other stuff would just come. You will have people in your life that are doing the same thing as you. You will have people in your life that are, So everything in life starts with your mindset first and your actions second. Your actions follow your thoughts, your beliefs, and ideas. To make a shift to free your energy, start with getting your mind right and then take action. But I tell y'all, if you're interested in living more freely, because I feel like for me, it's opened my mind a lot more to really operate in a space where I'm not worried about how someone is treating me. I'm not worried about how someone may perceive me. I'm just making sure I'm doing what I need to do. I'm communicating with you as a human. I'm doing something nice for you because I want to do something nice for you. Like, I'm not thinking twice about it. Because, for example, I wanted something nice for one of my friends. I just know she's had a really stressful week and stuff like that, and I wanted to do something nice for her and get her like a little gift. I shouldn't have to feel like I can't get you a gift just because you might not get me a gift. Who cares? Who freaking cares? If you don't give me a gift, maybe you're just not the type of person to get me a gift. Maybe you're just not the type of person that just, maybe that's just not something you do. And maybe that's not something that person does. You can't force anybody to treat you how you treat them. You can't force anybody to do something that they don't want to do. Who cares what you think? Once again, you have to be firm in that. Like, I was okay with getting her something with the possibility of her thinking, oh, this girl, she doing too much. Or because we're still kind of getting to know each other as friends and stuff and whatever. So, she might think, oh, why would she do that? That's doing too much. Like, who cares? I don't care. If you think I'm doing too much, then you're not the person for me. If you feel as though me doing something out of the kindness of my heart, because I felt like, I wanted you to feel seen. I wanted you to feel heard. I want you to feel like, I'm listening to you. Like, I understand you had a hard week. Let me do something nice for you. You know what I mean? And also, once again, like, it is one of those things where what I put out is also what I feel like I may be receiving. Like, it's a lot of times in my life where I feel like I was receiving a lot of negative energy because I was being negative. Like, it's very simple. Like, we control our realities. We control so many different things more than we know. And, like, people just take that for granted, I think. Okay, so time from now, you will be saying, I chose my life. I did not settle. So an affirmation I put was, I choose my life and don't settle. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Yes. So I was watching a podcast. This is where I kind of got all these ideas from, and I really, really, really enjoyed how he talked about, like, just really learning about yourself. I mentioned that earlier in this video, just really embracing that whole process of understanding who you are, getting to know yourself. Like, at the end of the day, like, people, like, let's be real, like, you really don't know who you are right now. Like, you might not know who you are right now. And it's just like, how do I get to that point where I am learning about who I am? I 100% recommend journaling. Like, I don't know how many journals I have, but I have enough where I can genuinely go back and read, like, past emotions, past circumstances, and understand how I've reacted, and understand, like, why certain things affected me, and also understand where that stemmed from at a different point in my life where that happened to me for the first time. So then, because your brain takes note of the things that happen, and then stores it subconsciously. So yeah, I mean, obviously it's not a conscious thought, which means it's something that you're completely aware of, but subconsciously you're aware of a lot of things that you don't even know. That you don't even know that you're aware of, and that's simply because you don't even know yourself for real. So, so you affirm to bring life into your vision. So we are affirming things to really bring light into what it is, and allow fear to rule your decision rather than your body and your flesh. Something that I've been practicing / implementing as well, like, that I feel like has to do with balance, is just really understanding when my flesh is just talking too much, or when I'm really receiving that download, receiving that information that is aiding me, So that's what I mean when it comes down to allowing your fear to rule a decision. You can always choose to fight and accept the truth. I literally, like, the most recent video I posted on YouTube was me healing my inner child. Like, me crying on camera was a lot. Like, yeah. And then to sit here and actually, like, post it was a lot, because I just know that, like, those realizations was a lot to sit with. But I also felt like it was just necessary, and, like, I really felt so uneasy about posting it, and I felt so uneasy about putting it out there. And then that's when I was just like, okay, well, then that means this is something that I need to do. So when I say making that decision and allowing fear to rule your decision, coming from a place of uncomfortability, and coming from a place where it's like, I feel like, like, so many questions are going through my head if I post this. Maybe it's a good thing. Like, y'all know, like, I feel like I don't need to say too much. Like, y'all be knowing. Like, I feel like somebody's sitting here asking a smart question, like, oh, well, how do I really know if, like, that's something I'm supposed to be doing? Blah, blah, blah. Like, you know what you're supposed to be doing, what you're not supposed to be doing. And if you're right now in a season where You are supposed to be sharing your stuff and creating and putting out, and like it's not just about you, and your purpose is maybe a little higher. You need to stop those limiting beliefs and just go for it, like for real. So I'm going to share some of the affirmations that I have picked for myself to go over for the next 21 days. I encourage y'all to do this as well, because we had talked about in a video just reframing your mindset and really reprogramming yourself. And like, it's really important to reprogram, as much as we may feel it's not. But here are my affirmations. I am ambitious. I am loved. I am secure. I am connected to great forces working for me. I am protected. I am the soul mentor. I am relaxed. I am balanced. I am worthy of all my desires because they are in my heart for a reason. I am grateful, and I put I am balanced. Why I put I am balanced twice? But that's a mood. Who you were. Okay. So feel free to check out my most recent video um, that talks about like healing my inner teen and what that really meant for me. So here's an affirmation. Here's another affirmation that I really liked for balance as well. It says, I balance creation and restoration. I balance creation and restoration, giving and receiving, in my current situation with my high hopes for the future. So I'm continuing to nurture myself to really create that balance. Something that had ignited, that's what I'm going to say as well, but something that had really ignited this sense of balance and awareness of figuring out that balance for myself was because like I want to create, y'all. I want to put stuff out there. I want to share with the collective. And I've been feeding my spirit, but something just wasn't really allowing for me to create in a way that I was producing. And that doesn't mean you always need to be productive and you always need to be producing stuff. But if I'm filling my cup, there's no reason why I can't be pouring out. And that really just came down to really balancing my social life and balancing this as well. Like all my friends, I feel like most of the people that I know, like they do tune in, and I'm grateful for that. But I'm not like, nobody's out here texting me saying, Jasmine, did you do this today to make sure you get this done? Like, no one's reminding me. No one's really on me about what it is that I need to do. Like, I have to be on me about what I need to do. So therefore, I need that discipline so I can create that balance to effectively do that. So, but I have high hopes because I'm finally getting this podcast episode together, and that's really all that matters as of right now. So our feelings are not always fact. So this goes into, once again, being uncomfortable and trusting that fear and allowing that fear to make the choice, and separating our feelings from our thoughts. Something I had to rewire my brain, and something that I still do to this day, is really like reevaluating and saying, okay, is this a thought or is this a feeling? Because sometimes we give our thoughts too much control and too much power, and it becomes a feeling. But really, it was just a thought the whole time, and that's what really creates that, I want to say, friction. So discipline and discernment are our greatest tools. Focus on one thing at a time, simplify it for yourself, the whole breaking it down, how I broke down balance, which is consistency, fluidity, and discipline. That's what balance is to me. So it's time to let go of past and present things to move forward. So discernment is the ability to have good judgment. So start listening to what comes, and it's time to get comfortable and believe in yourself. I'm not led by my feelings, but by my guides. That's what I said. So, or you could reword that, and I said, I am led by my guides, not my feelings. So this is when it comes into, and this is when it gets to a point of understanding who you are and understanding yourself, like what makes you happy, what makes you cry, what shifts your focus, what are your weaknesses, and develop a skill and take that time to learn and execute and have off seasons and rest. Development happens during training. What is it that y'all want to improve as a collective? What is it that we are working on this week? Um, Something else that I've been doing is really understanding like there's levels to this, and like now I'm on a new level this week compared to last week. So what does this level really look like? It's going to be me really implementing that balance, which means, I'm going to be making time to really create, and I'm going to be taking time to really spend time with the people that want to spend time with me, and really just trying to be understanding and being an overall better human. Because yeah, sometimes I don't want to hang out and stuff, but like it doesn't mean I can't hang out with you. Like, and really just understanding and separating and doing all that good jazz. But that's pretty much all I really have for today, when it comes down to balance and understanding your truth and understanding where you are as a person and in this journey. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. This is really a great space. I'm really glad that I took my time with this subject, and I'm really excited to keep producing for y'all and to keep doing the best that I can. And thank you guys for being so patient with me. And thank you guys for tuning in and really paying attention and really listening. And I'm so excited for your journey. I'm so excited for this journey that we're taking together, even though, even though we might not talk face to face, like, I'm still here for you. I'm rooting for you. Please feel free to talk to the screen. Like, please feel free to talk to me as we go through this. I mean, if you want to have real conversations with me, and feel free to join the Discord. I will be sure to drop the link. There was a Heinz video that also I feel like correlated with the whole balance perspective as well. So I will be dropping a link for that too. But yeah, I will see y'all again in the next podcast episode. Y'all, we are really executing this week. I know what needs to be done to be in a constant flow. I know what I need to do to constantly pour into the collective, because I do miss these chats. I miss these enlightening thoughts. And I'm really grateful for the divine expression. And I'm really grateful that you guys still tune in. So I will catch y'all in the next freaking episode. Much love, and I'll see you guys again soon. Peace.